Yo, what's up guys? Welcome to today's video. Sir Pack is back and I got you guys with the latest, hottest Infernobles combos that you guys will need to know if you're going to be picking the deck up. I'm going to be showing a couple 2-card combos because I think like realistically, because the deck has so many rotas now, you're going to be opening a lot of the 2-card combos. And I think also small shout out to Jib. He sent me one of the 1-card combos. But I don't think it's realistic that you're going to be doing the 1-card combo most of the time. So I figured I'd show you the more realistic 2-card combos because literally there's like 13, 15, 16 rotas in the deck. So you open this combo like literally 95% of the time, more likely than not. So I figured I'd show you something that will also play around Nib, because I think the biggest concern I also had was that a lot of people were like, oh my god, how do you play around Nib? How do you play around Nib? Wham, wham, wham. I'm little baby. Okay, so anyways, let's show the 2-card combos that plays around Nib, I think the most effectively. And yeah, let's get into it. So we open Museum, Ogier. Museum, I've been saying this. I think this card is literally a 4 of because it is once per turn per copy. So you actually really want to hard open this card. You don't want to search it. You want to search it off Angelica, but hard drawing it makes the combo way better. Because it's not once per turn. So I mean that's pretty obvious, I guess. So let's start off with Ogier. Ogier will search you Gearfried. Museum will search you Durandal. Durandal will get you Renaud. You'll special summon Renaud because you control a fire warrior monster to add back the Gearfried from the graveyard back to your hand. Then you're gonna use Renaud and Ogier. Renaud becomes the tuner because when you special summon it from the hand off its own effect, it's actually treated as a tuner. So you're able to use both Ogier plus Renaud to make the new Synchro 5, which is, if you guys watched my Dune video, it's in my top 5 cards of the format because this card is actually really broken. It plays around impermanence inherently. But when it's special summoned, you can add either a Horn of Oliphant, which is what I'm citing, or a card that mentioned Charles from the deck to hand, which is another copy of Museum. And when a card or effect is activated that targets this card, you can actually send a Fire Warrior monster from the deck to the graveyard and then banish it. So it's able to dodge Imperm. So this card is actually impossible to interact with. You just can't Imperm this pretty much. So we're going to use Angela's effect. We're going to search the second copy of Museum from the deck to the hand. And then we will activate Ogier's effect to attach it or equip it to Angelica. We'll use Museum's effect to special summon the Ogier from our spell and trap zone. And then we're going to activate another copy of Museum from our hand. We're going to use Museum's effect again to search Almace. And if you've been paying attention, we've only summoned 4 times so far. Which means we're still not nibbable yet. And so what you're going to do is Museum will search you a copy of Almace, which is the new Infernoble Arms card that is also getting released in Dune. And it allows you to add an Infernoble equip spell from the deck or graveyard and equip them to an appropriate target on the field, right? Or one monster you control. So what you're going to do is you're going to activate Gearfried's effect to banish the Durandal from the graveyard to summon itself. And that's the 5th summon. So if they try to nib you here, you can go Gearfried, send Almace, and you're completely protected. Now, because Almace is currently equipped to Ogier, and you want to link these 2 off for a Soul Day, you're going to use Almace effect to equip a Joyous from the deck directly to the Gearfried, so that you can link Ogier and Angelica off into a Soul Day without playing into Nib, right? So that you always have an equip card in the spell and trap zone for Gearfried to negate, pretty much. So pretty self-explanatory there. You're going to link both of them off into a Soul. Isolde is going to add you another copy of Renaud. It can literally be like either Renaud, because you're not really... So usually you don't add Renaud if you have another copy in your hand, because at the end of the combo, it allows you to make a Baron. It allows you to make a Baron if you have another second copy in your hand. But if you don't have it, I think this card is really good follow-up, because usually you keep Fire Warrior monsters on the board, so this card adds you a lot of recovery. You can also add Connector here if you don't have it. Connector is like really powerful as well because it's 2 warrior monsters to start off your turn on the next. So I think that makes sense for why it's really strong. So either or, I think you get to choose whatever. It depends on your hand. You're gonna use the Soul Day to mill one Phoenix Blade from the deck to summon Richard from the deck. And Richard's effect is it's a Wolf Bark. So when it's special summoned, you can reborn any level 4 or lower Fire Warrior monster in the graveyard. Okay, so just basically broken. You're locked into warrior monsters, but it doesn't really matter because Baron is also a warrior, and most of the rest of your engine is gonna be only warriors, so it doesn't really matter if you're locked into warriors. But anyways, you're gonna use the effect. You're gonna bring back Ogier. It's a level 1 tuner, so if you've noticed, you have a 1 and a 4, so you're gonna make a second Angelica, and this is the reason why I played 2, because you're gonna use Phoenix Blade to banish 2 from the graveyard to add Phoenix Blade back to your hand. You're going to equip the Phoenix Blade to Angelica and then trigger the effect of Angelica, which is, when a card or effect is activated that targets this card, and equipping is the same as targeting, you can send a Fire Warrior monster from your deck to the graveyard and then banish this until the end phase, so it actually comes back, and you're able to summon a Roland monster from your deck or extra deck. Okay, so we're going to banish it. We're going to Foolish a Turpin. I'll explain what this card does in a second. And you're going to be summoning Roland. Unfortunately, when you cheat out the Roland, it's not considered synchro summoning, so you can't get another card at end phase, unfortunately. But it's fine. So now Turpin, what this card says is it has 2 effects. If you control a monster equipped with an equipped card, which you do, you're able to bring it back from the graveyard or hand for free. But it gets banished if it leaves the field. And the second effect is that when it's in the graveyard, like all the other level 4 Infernoble monsters, it can target a warrior monster in the field and equip it. So what we're gonna do is, because we have Joyous, we're gonna use the effect of Turpin to summon itself back from the graveyard, and then we're gonna synchro summon 4 and a 5 to make Charles. Okay. Then we're gonna activate the effect of Captain Roland to equip itself to the Charles. And because we have a Charles that is equipped with an equipped card, we're able to link it off into the new Link 1 that's coming out of the new set into Charlemagne. And as you can see, the criteria is Charles equipped with an equipped card, and it has 2 effects that are not once per turn. So the first effect is that when it's Link summoned, it can target Charles in the graveyard, and it becomes Charles. It becomes that monster's original name, and it gains that effect. And it gains an extra 5 in attack, whatever. And then it also has a second effect, which is once per turn when a spell, trap card, or effect is activated, you can send an equip card from the hand or face of the field to the graveyard to negate the activation and destroy it, and that effect is once per turn per copy. What's really cool is, if you guys remembered, I told you that Museum effect is once per turn per copy, so we haven't used the second Museum's effect yet to summon from the spell and trap zone, so we're able to equip the Charles off the Charlemagne and then use Museum to special summon the Charles. We're then going to use the effect of the Blade again to add it back to our hand, equip it to the Charles again, and then make a second Charlemagne. Yep. And you pretty much end on like 2 spell trap negates, a monster negate, and a bunch of follow-up, and you also end on a pop, right, off of 2 cards while playing around Nib. And you also get Angelica back. Yeah, Charlemagne is not once per turn. Yeah, if you read it again, there's nothing about it says once per turn. It's once per turn per copy, I guess, to clarify. It's soft once per turn. So, what's really neat is that, okay, so the other ruling thing you need to know, this is really important ruling. Really important ruling. Both these Charlemagnes are considered Infernoble Knight Emperor Charles right now on the board, okay? So, it has the effect that if an equipped card becomes equipped to a monster in the field, even during the damage step, you can destroy 1 card in the field. But if you read the last effect of Infernoble Charles, it says you can only use each effect of Infernoble Charles once per turn. So, if you were to activate Roland to equip to Charlemagne, you only get 1 pop. You don't get 2. And we know this ruling because of the Therion monsters. So, like, if you equip Regulus to Borea, you only get 1 Borea effect. You can't use multiple Borea in that turn because it gains that effect and it counts as that effect. So that's just something important for you to know. You don't get to pop 2 cards, okay? That's important to know. The other thing is, yeah, at end phase, we're gonna use the effect of Charlemagne, which is technically a Charles, to equip all of them from the deck to make it untargetable, and equip an Almace as well. So you have follow-up, right? So you have Field Spell for follow-up, you have Almace for follow-up, and then you still haven't used Baron yet, right? So next turn, you have a lot of really sick plays where you can use the Field Spell to activate the Field Spell to summon Charles from the Spell and Trap Zone, and then you can special summon Renaud. Renaud will add you back follow-up, and then you can use Renaud plus Charles to make a Baron. So like you have a bunch of crackback next turn as well. And like it's like 2 spell trap against 1 monster and they get a pop. It's like fine. It's not the worst. You have 3 cards in hand. So that's the first 2-card combo. Let me show you the other one. So the second combo is if you open Connector, right? So if you open Connector Ogier, I think it's like one of the best 2-card combos because you get to do some really neat stuff here, right? So you go connector, summon Dolphin, Dolphin effect, pitch Ogier, loop a card off your opponent's hand, so your opponent's down 1 card, hopefully. Make a link 2. It's sold, add another connector. It's sold mill 1, summon Richard. Richard effect, bring back Ogier. Richard does actually not negate the card it brings back, so you can actually activate Ogier's effect here. You're going to send Gearfried. You're going to use both to make Angelica. Angelica's effect is going to search your museum. You're going to activate the effect of Ogier to equip to Angelica. You're going to use Angelica's effect because it got targeted for a card or effect, which allows you to summon the Captain Roland and Foolish the Turpin. Then you're going to activate the Field Spell. You're going to use it to grab the Randall. And then you're going to activate Turpin's effect because there's an equip card on the field to summon itself back. So now Turpin brings itself back. Then you're going to activate the Randall to search. That'll grab you a Renaud. You're going to use Captain Roland and Turpin excuse me, to make the Charles. You're going to use Phoenix Blade to banish 2. To add back, to equip the Charles and then make the link 1. Charlemagne. Charlemagne's effect is going to equip the Charles. You'll use the Museum to special summon the Charles from the Spell and Trap zone. So you're going to special Renaud and then add back the Gearfried from the banish. And then, because it becomes a tuner, you use Renaud and Charles to make a Baron. And then you have Baron, Gearfried, Charlemagne. So you have an Omni negate, a Monster negate, a Spell Trap negate, and a bunch of follow-up. So, and you loop the card out of your opponent's hand. So, pretty good, in my opinion. Yep. And then Charlemagne will also, like, do the same thing. You'll equip, I don't think you have anything to equip from the graveyard, right? Yeah, you don't have anything to equip here, but, yeah. Still decent. Not the worst. Because you have Captain Roland, too. So you'll probably activate Captain Roland to equip to one of these, actually. Sorry, so you still have, like, 2 negates. Yeah. So those are, like, the 2 main combos. And then I guess I'm going to show now the combo that Yugioh sent me, which is, like, the 1-card combo, okay? I don't think I've ever done this combo, but I have heard of this. And it's mainly because the deck is uber consistent. Like, uber consistent. You have literally, like, 13 cards that does searches or do the same thing. But let me show you guys that last one. Alright, yeah, so this is Jib's combo. If you open connector by itself, okay? So this is the 1-card connector combo. If you play the connector package. And I like the connector package because I think the deck has an issue with Droll and Lockbird. And connector can beat Droll and Lockbird. And if you play... I think if Nibru is in the main deck, you should probably main deck triple Gearfried. Because you have 3 of the field spell and terraforming, you have more access to equip cards more than ever, which allows you to do like connector Dolphin, special Gearfried, and then rip the nib out of their hand before you commit into it, and then you can use the Gearfried to like negate Droll or something. So like, I think like realistically, if you really want to play through Handtraps and stuff like that, you will bump Gearfried to 3, but the connector package is really good. Like it kills Droll, and it baits out Ash Blossom. Like it's, I mean, there's nothing more to say about it. I know like there's like the Battling Boxer package that beats Dark Ruler. If people want breakers, you play the Battling Boxer package because it lets you make an Omni negate in the form of a counter trap. But yeah, so anyways, connector 1-card combo. Let's see it. Special Dolphin loop, make a sold effects. Effects, send 4. Summon Ogier effects, send Turpin. Phoenix Blade effect. Equip, Turpin, bring yourself back. Overlay both for Artorgerus, whatever. Artorius? King Arthur. Okay? We summon King Arthur, and we're going to use the effect to equip Noble Arms cards from the graveyards. And we're going to equip Durandal that we sent off of his soul. We're going to use Durandal's effect to add Richard. We're going to relink, trigger Joyce to summon Richard from our hand. Because the monster that is equipped is sent to the graveyard, okay? So we summon Richard effect, bring back Ogier effect, and both of them will make you Angelica, searching you the museum. You use Phoenix Blade effect to grab the Phoenix Blade. Then you make Roland. You only play... my version of the deck only plays 3 Durandal, 1 Joyce, 1 Almace, and 1 Phoenix Blade. And none of them are bricks except Phoenix Blade. Then here we go. Ogier effect to equip, Museum to summon, make Charles, search Then we're gonna banish the Joy, summon Gearfried, Charlemagne, and this is the 1-card combo. Okay, so this is gonna be pretty much the 3 combos. Hopefully, you guys can practice before you take it to your sneak peek, or any other tournament in the Dune format. So I hope you guys enjoy it. Don't forget to subscribe. Let me know in the comment section below if you found other cool combos. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.